Long shadows stretched across Flagstaff's vast plains as the Arizona sun started to set. With her arms crossed over her chest and inhaling the delightful aroma of late spring juniper, Christine Woolley stood on the rear terrace of her recently constructed house. Beside her, a glass of peach iced tea shimmered in the last of the light. Somewhere in the distance, the air carried the faint laughing of children playing, likely Janelle's grandchildren, or perhaps truly teaching Savannah how to record content for their podcast. Christine experienced a sense of rebirth in addition to tranquility. This was the end of a long journey. Parts of her had been eroded by years of emotional neglect, polygamous juggling, and Kody Brown's wavering loyalty, which she was only now starting to recover. But she felt like a woman reawakening here, standing on land that had never been Kody's. Janelle was inside with her sleeves rolled up and her hair tied back, placing a pan of lemon bars on the counter. She appeared robust, more vibrant than she has been in years. Even in her stillness, Christine could sense that she was lighter now, even as they walked past one another in the hallway. After selling her RV and giving up on the Coyote Pass pipe dream, Janelle joined Christine on her new property, which she had purchased on her own dime, in her own time, and under her own name. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. They were more than just living together. They were creating a life founded on clarity, respect for one another, and emotional support, something Kody had never really offered them. No coercion. No changing timetables. No patriarchy of performance. Only being a lady. Just getting better. They had coffee on the balcony every morning. They would occasionally discuss their children. On occasion, they would talk about their surprisingly popular podcast, Sisters in Strength. Janelle contributed reason, real-world wisdom, and profound spiritual reflections, while Christine contributed warmth, humor, and candor. Each week, their chemistry attracted tens of thousands of listeners, primarily women who had grown up in patriarchal cults or were struggling to escape toxic relationships. They were becoming into emblems. They were aware of it. However, there were still unresolved nerves beneath their professional progress. The family had been shaken by Garrison's passing. Although Janelle didn't talk much about it, Christine occasionally caught her staring blankly out the window as though she was attempting to communicate with him through the veil. The ghosts of the Brown family continued to haunt these peaceful areas, never more so than when Christine inquired, "Do you think any of the kids will ever talk to Robbins?" Janelle slowly raised her head. "I'm not sure," she said. "I believe that too much harm has been done." However, someone else was thinking the same thing 1,000 miles away. And she was going to do something that nobody had anticipated. Madison Brush sat in the nursery in North Carolina, nervously navigating through old pictures of her brothers. There was an old Christmas picture of Solomon, no older than 5, hanging timidly to Kody's leg, Hunter smiling on a ski vacation, and Gabriel holding Truly as a newborn. Aurora and Dayton behind him were trying too hard to grin. It had been years since she had spoken to Robin's children. To be honest, she had hardly given them any thought. The other kids had cut themselves off from everything associated with Robin when the family broke up and Kody intensified his obsession with her. Robin was turned into a scapegoat and a symbol, and her kids were killed in a conflict they didn't want to be involved in. After the funeral, however, Madison had changed in some way. As her children crowded together on the fringe of the ceremony, she had witnessed Robin sob uncontrollably and by herself. They received no consolation. Nobody even looked at each other. She was troubled by it. Madison was extremely devoted to her mother and had always been feisty and vocal. She had previously called out Robin's manipulation without hesitation. However, recently, she had been questioning whether some of her rage had been misdirected. She picked up the phone and dialed a number she never imagined she would again one evening while her husband Caleb watched warily and her heart was racing. Robin picked up the phone on the third ring. A protracted hush ensued. Madison's voice cracked as she replied, "Robin, I just wanted to say, I believe I was mistaken. Not about everything. But what about your children? I let my resentment of the adults to turn into apathy towards them. It wasn't fair either." At first, Robin remained silent. Her respiration was audible to Madison. Then Robin started crying quietly. She remarked, "You have no idea how much it means to hear that. They felt forsaken, perplexed, as if they had done something incorrectly. "They didn't," Madison said in a whisper. "I simply didn't know how to keep everything apart." Robin sat down with her kids that evening and explained the call. Dayton averted his gaze, his eyes watery. Aurora nibbled on her lip. Even though Solomon and Ariella didn't entirely comprehend, they could sense that something was changing. Solomon asked Robin to write a letter to Gabe a few days later. When Madison informed Janelle what she had done back in Arizona, she almost threw up. She was initially cautious, but Janelle's face softened as Madison recounted the exchange. Above all, she was a mother, and she saw the importance of intergenerational healing. At last, she remarked, that required courage. And perhaps it's the beginning of something. When Christine heard, she became silent for a while. She then gave a nod. What we were unable to do, let the next generation do. Tentative relationships started to emerge in a few weeks. Dayton sent Leon an email. Aurora sent a brief message to Savannah. It wasn't really profound. It wasn't flawless. However, it was something. By making appearances on talk shows, recording their spin-off series, and coaching women in private support groups, Christine and Janelle persisted in creating their new enterprise. Through book releases, community outreach, and frank treatment sessions, TLC crews trailed them. They were now stars in their own right, not just shadows in Kody's orbit. But there was still one final step. Christine, Janelle, and a few of their grown children went back to Coyote Pass together, not to retake it, but to bid it farewell. As they remembered, the earth was dry and fractured. The silence was filled with unbuilt hopes. The pond never filled up. The unification never materialized. It had never been their vision, but rather Kody's. Under a tree, Madison set a smooth white pebble and muttered, "For what we survived." Janelle was silent and solid as she stood next to her. "For what we're evolving into," she continued. For the final time, Christine glanced out across the landscape. As the wind increased, the corners of her cardigan-like wings rose. The early summer storms have replaced the scorching heat in Flagstaff. Christine stood barefoot in the kitchen of her house, looking at a printed draft of the first episode screenplay for her and Janelle's upcoming TLC series, Foundations: Life After Polygamy, while rain pummeling the windows. It wasn't your average reality program. It was a daring move. Uncooked. Sincere. The opening scene of the first episode was supposed to show Christine silently strolling across the deserted Coyote Pass before cutting to Janelle unpacking boxes in her new casita on Christine's property. In a lighted podcast room, viewers would witness them expressing unvarnished realities, holding community events for single mothers, gardening, and meditating. With a production staff that was independent of Kody, they had constructed this show according to their own criteria. They controlled the story for the first time in more than 10 years. People were buzzing already. On YouTube, the trailers alone have received 1 million views. Kody was alone himself in Robin's living room watching the trailer on his phone. TLC had not been in touch with him. No warning had even been provided to him. His hands shook. Sometimes we spend our lives waiting for someone to choose us, until we realize we've had the power all along, Christine said, grinning in the golden light. The phone was thrown across the room by him. Against the stone of the fireplace, it cracked. "They're portraying me as a villain," he yelled. Robin raised her head from the sofa. She had fatigued eyes. The fissures in their marriage were starting to divide into canyons, and she had stopped standing up for him months ago. She said, "You made yourself look like that." Kody remained still. No matter how much they argued, the quiet between them was louder. He attempted to call Janelle later that evening. She didn't respond. He made another attempt. Next, Christine. Robin observed her kids becoming more and more aloof. The atmosphere at home had subtly changed since Madison's call. Solomon had requested to speak with his cousins over FaceTime. Aurora had increased her journaling. Now that he was in therapy, Dayton had ceased naively supporting Kody in family discussions. Robin sensed the power she had started to lose. She had centered her identity on being the obedient one, the one who followed the rules and kept Kody pleased. The rules no longer applied, though, and her world was falling apart. She listened to the desert breeze while sitting by herself on the back porch late at night and said to herself, "I didn't mean to break the family. I simply had no idea how to stop him. Despite their toxic friction, she missed Meri. Even Christine, who used to speak to her, confront her, and give her a sense of reality, was missed. Now though, nobody showed up. Nobody made a call. Her kids were on the run, and Kody, despite his anger, Kody did little to change the world. Aurora mailed Savannah a friendship bracelet she had crafted as a tiny but impactful gesture. The note said, "I know we've both been through things. However, I do recall your laugh. I'm hoping you're still having fun." Savannah cried when she read it. Gabe used Xbox Live to contact Solomon. At first, they played a game in complete quiet. By the second game, Gabe apologized for the strange turn of events. "It has nothing to do with you." "I know," Solomon said in a whisper. Leon received an email from Dayton. It was lengthy, delicate, and rife with inquiries concerning faith, mental health, and gender identity. He acknowledged that he had frequently felt cut off from both the family and himself. Leon's response was surprisingly nice. Although they did not encourage the children to continue talking, Christine and Janelle fostered a positive atmosphere. They had room. By setting an example of emotional safety and accountability, they broke generational tendencies by sharing their personal stories in therapy-style podcast parts. What really shocked many was Christine's appearance on a national daytime talk show. She spoke in a fiery voice while sporting a striking purple dress and said, "We were never equally adored by Kody. For years, we acted as though that was acceptable. To a man who saw us burn, we erected altars." Within hours, the video became viral. Using their personal escape tales, TikTok users put the statement together. Women from polygamous groups started surreptitiously contacting Janelle and Christine's website to request assistance. The production crew hurried to include more advocacy-focused episodes. In order to examine the legislation pertaining to polygamy, custody, and women's rights in spiritual marriages, Christine engaged a legal advisor. Janelle, meanwhile, had her own mission. In order to investigate obtaining monetary compensation from the Coyote Pass investment, she had discreetly hired a lawyer. She has a loan history. She had invested in that property. And now, she desired to regain her possessions. Kody blew up when he received court documents asking for mediation over land investments and unpaid bills. "War is here," he cried. However, nobody answered. No cameras. No spouses. No pity. An empty canyon reverberated with Kody's rage. Christine, Madison, Janelle, and a few of the daughters convened in private for a ritual they created themselves, a sisterhood rebirth. In the desert, they sat in a circle. As the sun sank behind the rocks, a ring of white candles radiated about them. Every woman revealed a hidden reality. A letter to her old self was burned by each of them, genuinely kept Christine's hand throughout. Savannah hugged Madison and whispered, "You started this healing," which caused Madison to cry. They chuckled. They sobbed. They let out a cry into the wind. They felt complete for the first time in years, not because a man had finished them, but rather because they had finished one another. Sitting by alone in his home, Kody silently rewatched an old Sister Wives episode. The family was depicted on screen standing together and grinning in a non-existent portrait. His cell rang. Robin was the one from the bedroom, messaging, "We must speak. The children desire therapy. Perhaps we ought to that, and there's more." During the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all, Robin Brown and Kody Brown remained silent, and their quiet might reveal more than their words ever could. When Robin was revealed as Kody's fourth wife in Sister Wives Season 1, their relationship officially began. They became close after meeting through common friends. They were married in 2010, and their courtship involved customary procedures like chaperone dates. As Kody's previous marriages came to an end, Robin eventually became his only surviving wife. Fans criticized them and caused tension with the other wives since they were perceived as having the strongest bond. Kody's marriage to Robin had a significant impact on his relationships with his other wives and kids. Tension in the household increased as he seemed to spend more time and attention with Robin. His emotional detachment from Christine, Janelle, and Meri caused those marriages to fail. Kody's relationships with a number of his elder children were also affected by his favoritism towards Robin. Many of them felt abandoned or disregarded. The formerly cohesive Poly family became permanently divided as a result of this change. Kody Brown and Robin Brown notably avoided answering some of the more challenging questions during the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all, continuing to deny that favoritism contributed to the family's disintegration and refusing to acknowledge the full impact of their actions on others. Robin described the video as disturbing and declined to provide further details, while Kody brushed off questions about their early connection. Viewers who looked for genuine understanding were disillusioned by their lack of transparency. Although the tell-all was supposed to provide clarity, many questions remained unresolved due to their evasive responses. The couple kept silent despite fans' intense interest in the emotional timeline of their courtship, which fueled viewers' curiosity once more. Many thought that Kody and Robin were avoiding responsibility for the family's lingering conflicts by remaining silent. Favoritism, familial discord, and previous disagreements were either carefully avoided or dismissed. Kody and Robin's reserved demeanor stood out while other women talked candidly about their feelings and difficulties. Fans' complaints were exacerbated by the lack of transparency, as they believed the tell-all failed to provide the candid insight they had hoped for. The couple's relationship is still controversial as a result. Robin and Kody appeared cautious about what they revealed at the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all, probably to avoid making themselves appear worse. They avoided difficult inquiries and were evasive while discussing delicate subjects rather than providing precise replies. Kody swiftly ended the talks after Robin referred to some of the clips as disturbing. Supporters saw that their strategy differed from those of the other wives, who were more forthcoming. During the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all, Kody and Robin Brown appeared intent on controlling the narrative. Their silence gave viewers the impression that they were concealing something or defending their reputation, which only served to increase the criticism they had already received this season. They provided succinct, thoughtful responses and steered clear of challenging subjects. They attempted to maintain their composure, as though they had nothing to say, rather than confronting emotional times or prior errors. Perhaps to avoid coming seen as weak, Robin seemed particularly focused on avoiding being emotional. Their demeanor suggested that they wanted to leave the tell-all appearing calm, steady, and unaffected by the drama that had engulfed the family throughout the season. Viewers of Sister Wives believed that Robin and Kody were more concerned with maintaining their appearance than with being truthful. Kody and Robin choose to keep things light or assign blame, while the other wives talked candidly about their suffering. This gave the impression that they wished to remain above the tension and dispute and seem as the winners of the tell-all. But their plan might have backfired. Their lack of transparency was perceived by fans as aloof and contemptuous, which exacerbated the criticism they already receive. Instead of garnering pity, their cautious demeanor left many feeling dissatisfied and unpersuaded. Recently, Kody Brown from Sister Wives was spotted far from their Arizona home in a different state without his wife, Robin Brown. Over the past 3 years, the patriarch of the Brown family has experienced a number of highs and lows, including 3 divorces and the untimely death of his son, Garrison Brown. One thing that has remained consistent in his life is Robin's presence and support. The pair seemed happy in their new monogamous relationship, despite having different opinions about polygamy. Kody stated that he is no longer interested in polygamy at Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all. It seems that the conflict between Robin and Kody has gotten worse since the Season 19 tell-all. There may be trouble in paradise, as evidenced by the latest sighting of Kody at an airport without his favorite wife. Discussing Robin's absence from the trip to Texas, a Redditor named @OUTRAGED posted a photo of Kody sitting inside a restaurant at DFW Airport on June 18, 2025. Some Redditors commented on Kody's angry expression because of his demeanor in the photo, which suggested a foul mood. According to one Redditor @IdoShiniko, he always looks angry now. Another Redditor @Disenchanted2 added, he does. Angry beady eyes. Sister Wives star Janelle Brown's departure from Kody Brown in 2022 marked a shift in her life after nearly 30 years of spiritual marriage, and she's opening up about her romantic life. As the second wife in the polygamous Brown family, Janelle, 56, cited Kody's emotional neglect and favoritism toward his fourth wife, Robin Brown, as a key reason for her exit. The strain was compounded by Kody's strained relationships with their 6 children, prompting Janelle to prioritize her happiness. Her decision followed Christine Brown's exit in 2021 and preceded Meri Brown's in 2023. Robin Brown stayed with Kody. Janelle's choice to leave reflected her desire to break free from a dynamic where she felt undervalued, particularly as Kody's focus shifted heavily to Robin during their plural marriage. Post-separation, Janelle has embraced a fresh start, focusing on personal growth and new connections. While not actively seeking romance, she remains open to future possibilities. Janelle has built a new social circle, distancing herself from Kody and Robin, and the Sister Wives Season 19 star is exploring her independence with a detox mindset for 2025. Her journey reflects resilience, as she navigates single life and redefines her priorities. Of all of Kody's wives, Janelle enjoyed polygamy the most. The Sister Wives star often talked about how much she thought polygamy worked for her. While her other sister wives wanted Kody around more often, Janelle said she liked not having Kody around every night. She enjoyed the independence the lifestyle offered her. She liked that she had more moms to help raise her children while she went to work. Janelle remembers polygamy fondly, though it's unclear whether she'd try the lifestyle again. When Janelle left Kody in 2022, she wasn't the first of his wives to walk away, and she wouldn't be the last. His third wife, Christine, left in 2021, while his first wife, Meri, walked away in 2022. Since leaving, Christine and Meri have prioritized finding love. Christine is already remarried to David Woolley, while Meri is actively looking. Janelle has been less eager to date again. During an interview on the Sibling Revelry podcast, the Sister Wives Season 19 star said she'd never marry or date again. "I am done," she said, adding, "I love my single life." This doesn't mean that the Sister Wives Season 19 star is committed to the idea of being alone forever. Later during the same podcast episode, she said she'd be open if something were to present itself. With her divorce and her son's tragic death still so fresh, Janelle may need more time before she's ready to dive back into the dating pool. Just because her former sister wives were ready to date again, doesn't mean Janelle has to be. During a recent episode of Sister Wives Season 19, Janelle embraced her identity as a very sexual being while reflecting on her life after leaving Kody. Responding to Kody's past claim that she lacked passion, Janelle confidently rejected his narrative, emphasizing her vibrant sensuality. She expressed openness to future romance but is currently focusing on personal growth and independence. Janelle's candid statement highlights her journey of self-discovery and empowerment as she moves forward from her 30-year spiritual marriage, prioritizing her own desires and identity. Now that the dust has settled on the latest season of TLC's Sister Wives, there are some telling clues from the one-on-one specials that Meri Brown might still be enamored with former husband Kody Brown. The four main cast members on Sister Wives Season 19 sat down for a series of one-on-one interviews with host Suki Krishnan to talk about the season and its aftermath. During Meri's portions, there were some clear signs that she still has a soft spot for Kody. Unlike former wives Christine Brown Woolley and Janelle Brown, who had tough words for their ex-husband Meri at times, defended Kody's actions. Meri also spoke lovingly of good times in their marriage, which neither Janelle nor Christine seem able to do. There were signs during the season, like when Kody helped Meri move from Flagstaff to Utah, where their fondness for each other shone through. Despite being confused by Kody's emotions on moving day, Meri didn't look back. Still, she seems to have come to a place of peace with Kody, or she's still enamored by him in some way. And the great debate about Kody's use of luggage racks when traveling with his wives, which Christine claimed was a metaphor for their entire relationship. Meri didn't jump on the bandwagon and bash Kody. Christine recalled how, whenever they'd travel, Kody would use the luggage rack for himself, leaving the wives to put their luggage elsewhere. Janelle corroborated Christine's story, while Robin Brown said she simply took the luggage rack first without any issues, as shown in this TikTok shared by TLC. Meri, however, downplayed the symbolism of the luggage rack, saying, "I don't feel like it's fair to sit there and complain. I don't want to be critical. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm not going to do that." Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.